All right, family, we are here. Welcome to the Get Your Shift Together Men's Podcast. I don't even know where our co-host is. How about that, man? I'm gonna dog this dude off rip. The co-host, he not even in the, he not even, he ain't here. All right. Now I guess he's on his way, but we gonna dog him even before he gets here. All right. Somebody put an APB out on DJ Walk and find out where he is. But we got an amazing guest today. We're gonna talk all things mental health and some drama that we saw on the internet. But it's gonna be a great conversation. Fellas, let's go ahead and get the doggone thing. Let's go.
To the Get Your Shift Together Men's Podcast with your host, Dr. MyRon Edmonds.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another amazing Thursday of the Get Your Shift Together Men's Podcast. I said shift, by the way. I mean, some of y'all out there, man, wondering what the preacher is saying. I said, Get Your Shift Together Men's Podcast. That's the title of the podcast, y'all. All right. And there's a reason why we call it the Get Your Shift Together Men's Podcast. And it is a men's podcast. We always have the sisters who like to be flies on the wall, eavesdrop to the conversation, and we are totally fine with that. But look, we're here to help men to win in what matters. And I just want to say thank you to all of you all for your support. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you. We have almost reached 18,000 subscribers on our YouTube page. And so, man, it's been amazing. And I just want y'all to know that I'm here. I'm and I'm on time. DJ Walk, I don't know where he is, but this is what you get from this guy. He's very unpredictable. He's I'm not gonna say he's unstable, but I mean he is.
See, you was talking stuff and I popped up on you. See, you was talking
man, he pulled up on me.
I had to run up on you. You know what I'm saying? Run up on you.
Listen, man, this show is sponsored today by our sponsor that's out here changing lives, man. I thought that I brought it in here with me, but I didn't. Oh, yes, I did, man. I brought it in here with me, man. We're talking about Natural E-Man Men's Supplement. This thing is game-changing. I don't do a workout without it. I don't go a day without this stuff right here.
Yes,
and listen, fellas, it's not just about what happens in the bedroom. I know that's why most dudes buy it, but it's not just about what happens in the bedroom. It's also about the energy, the focus. You get out the brain fog, man. You feel that little oomph. It's the oomph. It's the oomph that you need, you know what I'm saying, to get going. Jason clearly didn't have any of this today because, when I called him earlier, y'all, man, he was in the bed, groggy. I was like, man, where's Eric Thomas when you need him, man? Sleep is for suckers, man.
Too much. Why are you doing so much so early in the podcast, bro? You're doing a whole lot real early in the podcast.
Brother, I have high standards for you. That's what it is. I have very high standards for you. You are
take that echo off. It's crazy.
He's a celebrity. You sound good though, man. Listen, guys, welcome, man. Welcome today. We're gonna shift some things around just a little bit because we have a guest that's with us today who I'm very excited about. He is going to be on this dope lineup. Yo, Jay, man. This lineup, man.
Crazy. Hey, I'm telling you, just like we discussed last week, the lineup. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Next year has to be Cameron, Mace, Barack Obama. It gotta go up, man, because this lineup is so fire. You get so many different speakers, so many different points of view, so many different perspectives. I mean, it is a fire lineup, and if you're not in Atlanta, congratulations, you played yourself.
Like, let me just put this on the Yo, man, let me just go one by one for a second, right? And these are just the headliners, you know what I'm saying? But you've been to a concert or a comedy show or even to like an event, Jay, where you got the headliners, right? These are the guys, they got the celebrity status. They kind of drive the registration and stuff like that. But then you got those sleepers, you got them sleepers, man, that that come in, bro, and people don't even see them coming. And I feel like today's guest is one of those sleepers. But anyway, but look at this, man. Jamal Bryant. I mean, Paxton Baker. I talked to him the other day, Jay. He is minority owner of the Washington Nationals. He was on our podcast. Anthony O'Neill. I mean, bro, David Shands. I mean, let's see. Willie Moore Jr. I was on his radio show. He is fired up about being here. Katina Mobley, just talked to him a few seconds ago, former NBA player. Some dude asked me the other day. I'm not going to. They was like, "Who's Katina Mobley?" I'm like, "This dude ain't no hooper." I'm like, you know, hooper. Like, what? Hey, yo, low key, I'm about to call Jeremy Anderson. It was Jeremy Anderson. Yo, Jeremy was like, I was like, yo, we got some heavy hitters, Jay. He was like, who's speaking? I said, we got Paxton Baker and Katina Mobley. And Jeremy was like, he said, yo, who is, he said, I ain't never heard of them before. I said, Jeremy, come on now, bro. Now, hold on, brother. I said, come on, man. You don't remember, Stevie Francis and, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I said, I give you a pass on Paxton Baker, but just know that out of all them guys on the stage, he the real boss for real. Yeah. Dude, he minority owner of a Major League Baseball team. Y'all, I mean, humble yourselves, bro. He just low key with it. But anyway, man. But today we have a brother, man, who is, and I want to make sure I introduce him properly because we got a chance to meet for the first time. We've been in similar circles. We got a chance to meet for the first time at Jeremy Anderson's speakers conference last year. And man, got a chance to just be a part of an amazing experience. Folks was getting baptized, man. We in there baptized, man. I even changed in his room after the baptism, man. And we exchanged phone numbers. And then, as a result of our relationship, man, he said he felt impressed to reach out to me and was like, yo, I need to be at this conference. These dudes need to hear what I got to say. I love when dudes do that, bro. Yo, I love that, bro. Bro, listen, the fire that's about to come down. Anyway, Mark Tamaleaa is a distinguished professional speaker specializing in mental health, wellness, and suicide prevention with over 25 years of experience in education and leadership. He has served as a youth pastor, teacher, chaplain, dean, principal, and conference youth director, born and raised in American Samoa. You better learn something about American Samoa, boy. Don't mess with them dudes, bro. Mark's personal journey includes overcoming depression and the suicide attempt at 17. I didn't know this. Is that true? We got to fact check that, which fuels his dedication to fostering resilience and advocating for mental health. His compelling storytelling and practical strategies have made him a sought-after speaker for schools, organizations aiming to inspire positive change. And he will be on the stage at the Winning Circle Conference. Let's bring to the stage right now my man, Mark Tamaleaa. Mark.
What's up, baby? What's
up? Now, Mark, we said a lot of things here. We fact check us here for a second, bro. Now, he's talking about haka. Is haka American Samoa too?
The haka is a Maori dance in New Zealand. It's a Maori dance, and the All Blacks, the rugby team in New Zealand, a lot of times they do that. The All Blacks in New Zealand is sort of like how Black people have taken over the NBA, NFL, and all the sports.
Mm-hmm.
In New Zealand, most of the players are Samoan.
Got it.
So they do that haka, as an intimidation factor, as part of the culture and that sort of thing. Yep.
Hey man, it would be dope if we could do the haka at the conference, bro. Just start that joint off, bro. That would be epic, man. Anyway, Mark Tamaleaa is our guest. Mark, am I pronouncing your last name right?
Yeah. That's
okay.
Yep, that's
good stuff. Well, listen, hey Jay, man. I got a chance to meet Mark. As I said, we're at this conference. And man, as a result of that, we both pastored very similar stories. And we both pastored in Seventh-day Adventist Church. And he has pivoted and he is speaking all over the nation, encouraging and inspiring hope. But, Jay, a lot of this came from painful experiences. And God has used a lot of the painful experience to use him to touch so many lives. Mark, tell us your story. Man, how did you get to this space where you were no longer pastoring? I'm very curious about that because that's the space that I was just in. And now you are, all over stages, at schools, at prisons, everywhere, man, inspiring hope. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are for our audience and what your mission and your purpose is and how it came about, bro?
Yeah, just first of all, man, just an honor and a privilege to be here with you both. Man, I'm loving the Supreme hat. I love that hat. That's good.
It's
That's
not.
what the
It's
young
fake
people
though,
wear.
Mark. Mark is fake
It's,
though. So just let you know that it ain't
well,
real.
well, like I said, it's what the young people wear. So no, it's good. No, just to recap a little bit of what you said. I worked for the church for 25 years. I was an educator. I have my master's in administration education, so I was a principal. And then just the last 10 years I wanted to work 1 day a week, so I became a pastor.
Well, that's what happens. That's what
happened.
That's what
That
happened.
will happen. So I wanted to work 1 day a week, man, control my schedule. But no, some essentially, a tragedy hit our family. I lost my son, 23-year-old son. He was attending La Sierra University. I've got 4 kids. My oldest is a pastor. My other son, Jalen, was studying to be a teacher at La Sierra University. And then I had my third son. He's a Marine. He takes after his grandfather, my dad, who served 27 in the U.S. Marine Corps. And then my daughter, she's in college right now. She's the only one at home with us right now. But we lost our son about 3 years ago, and just what has led me to what we're doing now. I didn't work for an entire year, Doc. You know how, our kids are our most precious treasures like that. We would do anything for our kids. And when that tragedy hit our family, I didn't work for a whole year. Man, I was down and out, just trying to figure all that stuff out. I had never done counseling, so I was trying to get into all of that. And long story short, after a year of that journey of doing the work, as they say, I came out and I was living in Kansas City at the time. I just pleaded to God I was ready to get back into the work again, but I just wasn't able to do it here in Kansas City. And literally that week, I got a call from a conference president who's a good friend of mine in Hawaii. He says, "Hey, man, he was at my boy's funeral and everything, but he says, hey, I've got an opening here. I can't think of anybody better. It was a youth director job in Hawaii." So I did that in 2023, and probably about 9 months into it, I just found myself, I could not, obviously I'm still healing from the loss, but I could not get my mind off of the tragedy and potential tragedies of so many young people. And suicide is the second leading cause of death amongst our young people in the US. And so I found myself in circles where I was speaking, and they just asked me to come in and speak. And a lot of times I like it if they give me a subject, but a lot of times if they just say, just speak your heart, I couldn't help but speak on mental health and suicide prevention. And long story short, just 9 months into that, Doc, I turned around and I asked God for permission. I said, I think I'm gonna quit doing this that I've been doing for the last 25 years. I'm going to go back to school. And I just pleaded with God, like, God and I, we don't really talk. Like, we don't talk. Like you read all those stories in the Bible about, when they having conversations. I'm asking God to just, I'm feeling impressed to do this, put up a roadblock, because I'm a man, and it better be a big roadblock, because I'm going to try to climb over it. I'm going to go around it. I'm going to go under it, whatever the case may be. But I'm going to step away and go back to school and be a counselor, a therapist. And by accident, I put it out on Facebook and Instagram last year, a year ago, 2024. I put it out there. Hey, if you need a speaker, because I'm real passionate about this. If you need a speaker on suicide prevention, mental health, I'm your guy. I would love to be able to come in and pour into your students. That Facebook post and Instagram post took me to New Zealand, Australia, Fiji, Haiti, Dominican, Samoa. It took me to like over, almost 30 states in the US just speaking on that. That was just in 2024. So that's what I spent my time doing, just speaking on that. So it's turned into a little bit of a business, sort of stumbled onto that, connected with Jeremy, man, which I can't say enough, man. Really, I can't say enough about how he poured into me, as he has been doing. He does that all the time. And so I just kind of took what little he gave me, and I'm trying to, expand it and try not to take up his time. But that's essentially what it is, Doc. That's what I'm doing now. And I'm going into year 2, and I'm my second year of school. I'll be done at the end of this year.
Man,
Yeah, you said something
I'm inspired. This is amazing, bro. Go ahead, Jay.
You said something, man, that a lot of people really don't talk about, is how your work life is affected when you lose someone. I lost my mother a couple years ago, and I was working in the social service field. And when I lost her, it was a very big loss, and it was just really kind of hard to kind of get back to that job, because you go in there and you automatically hear about loss, drug abuse, what's going on, homelessness, and it's just kind of hard to pour in to people when you're kind of feeling empty yourself because you're bouncing back from a loss. So a lot of people don't talk about that, man, but it's very hard to bounce back in your job after suffering such a hard family loss, man. It is.
Well, you're speaking on something, on an important point here. A lot of times, and then when we talk about what men do, is because it's so difficult and we still need to go to work and we still need to pay the bills, we take that thing, we compartmentalize it, put it in a certain place, and we'll deal with that eventually, right? But we put it because that's just what we need to do to get up and take care of our families and go about handling the business that men do.
Yeah, man. It's tough, though. It's tough.
Yeah. Mark, what do you think is the most misunderstood thought, mindset, opinion, or whatever about the experience that you had and the journey that you've been on? I know you're going to share so much of this at the conference, but the awareness level of this issue has to go through the roof, and it needs to. I know you realize that. That's probably why you're in such demand. And it's also something that's affecting men. I understand. I'm not sure what the exact stats are. You may understand it better than I do, but I understand it's one of the top killers of men right now, death by suicide. Talk to us a little bit, educate us a little bit, man. What is most misunderstood about this issue, and what message needs to get out to our people, to our families, and to men especially about this crisis that we're having?
Thank you for that question, man. I mean, I think what it is that probably the biggest, the misunderstood thought on this is that when we use the word suicide, when we talk about it, just the word suicide, there's this idea that we're going to implant the idea in the audience, in our young people, in our children, when you use the word suicide. And so because we don't want to plant the idea, because we think we will when we talk about it, we don't talk about it. And it becomes this thing that we don't talk about, but yet it's happening all around us. It's the second leading killer amongst young people, and when we talk about the statistics between men and women, I mean, men is such, I don't even want to throw out a statistic that I could be wrong on, but the rate is exponentially higher than females, because the way that men choose to do it, it's pretty definitive, whether it's through by a gun, or if they're going to jump off, and so what happens is there's this myth that if we talk about it, we're planting the ideas. So we're having all these generations of people coming through where we don't talk about that, sort of like we don't talk about pornography, because again, there's this concept in there that we have. It's a shameful thing. We don't want to bring it up. And so it just happens in the dark type of a thing. So that's been the biggest thing that I would say that is the biggest myth when it comes to suicide and suicide prevention and mental health.
Mark, can I ask a follow-up question? And I'm asking because I know so many of us are ignorant about, this this challenge. And I think what you just said speaks to that, in the sense that people feel like the myth is if we talk about it, it will plant the seed, right? But now we're starting to see that there are various trends on nomenclature and language. And I just want to know, from your opinion, if you can educate us even on this. I noticed that people are now saying, death by suicide, and not that a person committed suicide. Can you help us? How do we speak on this issue? Should we say someone committed suicide, or should we say it was death by suicide? And why is that even an issue right now in terms of the language? Could you educate us on that? Because I know a lot of people are confused, and they kind of like, playing double dutch with, man, I don't know. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't want to, offend anybody. And there's a lot of political correctness around what we should say. Do you have any advice for us on that?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I can just say, from a personal perspective, as a father who's lost a son, that doesn't offend me. That if you say commit, it's suicide. That's the word we've always used. But, I think we grow as people. I think we understand that when somebody comes over to me and says to me, Mark, when you're up there and you're talking about suicide, you're using the word committed suicide. But I'm aware of that going into it. But because of what we're used to saying, I will say it, but not intentionally, but I'll say it. And so what I will often say to people is that it's really weird for people who's not lost somebody to tell somebody who's lost somebody how to talk about it.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like, it's like me telling you how to feel as a Black man, and I'm Samoan.
Yeah.
It's weird. So I think there's a place for it. I think the right people are advocating for it. But I think at the end of the day, right, we just need to talk about it. And so sometimes we may stumble upon using it wrong. Like don't get hung up on that detail. Right?
That's good, Mark.
I
That's
think
good.
more important than that detail is talking about it versus not talking about it. Because we're afraid we're going to offend somebody, so we don't say anything. I think it's okay to just go ahead and speak on it. I think there's value in that. I think there's merit in that, and I think that's a better approach, than not.
Don't let some of the jargon just destroy the message, because the message is still there.
That's good.
Yeah.
Bro, that's actually, man, that's freeing right there. And you set things in light of like the big picture, man. The big picture is we need to talk about it, and we shouldn't get caught up in language. So I have a couple of questions for you, more of a lighter note. But before, I want to have a transition question before I get there. So how does Mark Tamaleaa, how does he reset when life gets overwhelming? Like, what's your go-to, therapy, coping strategy just for stress in general? We got a lot of brothers on here who are high achieving men. They're out there getting after it, like Jason, which is one of the reasons why he was late today, because he was working all night last night for a big tech company called Amazon. So he's, clearly supporting the man. And so, he's a high achieving brother. He needs some advice, Mark. How does a guy like him reset? Like, how does he reset? Like, what is your recommendation for brothers to unwind? I mean, should we get high, brother? Should we drink, man? What does Mark Tamaleaa do?
Hold on, wait. I'm on here talking to two ex-pastors, right? and you know me, I'm the hood advocate.
You're the hood advocate.
I ain't even bring that up.
Everybody on here, everybody that watches You know that everybody that watches this is you have brought a whole new audience on here that they're not from the church. So.
They don't talk to the Lord. They don't pray. They don't fast. He immediately went to rolling up, popping bottles. I'm like, jeez. Boy, since you were pastor, boy, you turned into a different
You know, it's funny. It's funny that he's bringing that up, but let me speak for myself and not Dr. MyRon Edmonds, right? I think the only difference between you and I is that you chose a certain profession. I chose a different profession. But we're no different. We're really no different. I'm probably the worst pastor there is. Number one in this room, but in the world, in the world.
Come on, brother. I receive that. I'm with you on that. That's what Paul said. Paul said we're the worst sinners, brother. Yes, sir. But yeah, Mark? How do you reset, recover, rest, deal with stress?
Yeah, I think for me, you know, I'm obviously as I jumped over to this new space. I just turned 50 this year, and I'm back in school, and there's a lot of stress with the school, and then I'm traveling. Like for example, like I'm here in Hawaii right now, and I had to do a lot of Googling to figure out the time difference between. I think we're like 6-hour difference from where you are and where I'm at. So I just and so what happens is I'm on the road and I'm speaking and I'm spending a lot of time doing that. Probably right now, because I'm in this season right now, I got the bug. I got the bug to get into the gym. And so that's what I'm doing right now is I do I got to go to the gym. In fact, it's a good you know when we go through phases in our life and seasons in our life where we're locked into something. I'm locked into the gym right now. In fact, I posted a picture of my 267-pound self on my socials, and the gut is huge, the belly is huge, but it was one of those things that I just needed. You know, I think when we get to 50 years old, Doc, we know we can't do any better than what God has already given us. We're content in our bodies a little bit more. And so me putting out a picture of my fat belly was the easiest thing I could have done. But I love the fact that the interaction I was getting from my people was, man, you look great. You know, and they're lying. Church members lie. they lying, but it was an encouragement to just do this journey more openly. And so I would say for me, man, when it comes to resetting, it's the gym. For me, it's spending time in the Word of God. Because the crazy thing about this, Doc, you're gonna be blown away about this. 70% of my bookings that I do are non-Adventist, non-Christian environments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all.
So when I get to speak, like if I'm speaking in a church in that 30%, like is a really good experience because it keeps me close. I mean, ministry saved my life. Like really, I'm saying that ministry saved my life. Like I'm just a like the terrible worst person who God like somehow, some way, somebody said, "Hey man, could you become a youth director?" Which traditionally that position is held by a pastor, right? But because of my love for young people and the work that I do, that's how I kind of got slotted into the situation. So I'm going to say exercise. I'm going to say exercise for sure, especially right now, spending time in the Word of God, and then hanging out with my wife, particularly because I've only got one child left in the home. So we get to do a lot of things, and you know, whatever she wants. She's vegan, vegetarian, which is really weird, you know, being that I'm Samoan and I love all things meat, you know. So
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, well, Mark, man, just know, man, one day, man, we're gonna get up, man, and we can go and offer a sacrifice somewhere, man, at a nice barbecue spot, brother. I mean,
sir. Yes, sir.
That plant-based life, man, is good for 7 days, for 6 days, but one day out of the week, man, you gotta offer a sacrifice unto the Lord, man. Jason believes in that. You know, it's funny. I was thinking, Jason, you know, before we let Mark go, there's so much body positivity talk amongst women. You know what I'm saying? You see that, and they be peppering our Instagram feeds with their body positivity. But man, listen, man, what's wrong? I saw a stat the other day that said when a man looks in the mirror, the average man, when he looks in the mirror, he is proud of what he sees, man. No matter what he sees. And yo, Jay, it's all based on perspective. How tall are you, Mark?
6 foot.
Now look, Jay, if somebody said I'm 6 foot, 267, bro, if that man's a football player, does that not sound good to you? Does it sound good to you? Huh?
Yeah, for sure.
It's all perspective, man. It's all perspective. We're good with these bodies. How tall are you, Jason?
5'11", 5'10".
You're 5'11", 5'10". How much do you weigh?
Hey man, don't ask me how much
Hey
I weigh.
man, what you got?
This is body positivity, man. Come on, man. Be proud. How much do you weigh?
This podcast, man.
How much do you weigh, Jay?
Man, you got it right.
Hey,
Man, we supposed to be vulnerable out here, man. Well, how much do you weigh, Jay?
Man, I don't like around 230, 235.
230. Bro, what does it sound like to you, Mark? That sounds like a first-round draft pick running back coming out of Alabama, boy. That's what it sounds like.
No.
It's all perspective, man.
No, that's a running back. That's a running back, a starting running back. Yeah.
How much I weigh on this podcast?
The Dallas Cowboys need you, Jay. We need you. We need that. We need that, bro.
Where's my blue button at? Where's my?
Hey, you know what it is. You know what it is, Doc. Jay, listen, it's a mindset. It's the mindset.
Come
you
on,
know
Mark.
I'm correcting that it's a mindset, but boo on you, Dr. MyRon Edmonds, for doing it online in front of everybody.
Hey man, listen, I'm 5'11", 197.
Yeah, 197.
Give me some applause, bro. That's not my normal weight though. My playing weight used to be.
Take that hat off. Watch body positivity. Take that hat off. Looks like big peanut. big peanut. You look like.
Hey, I got the ring of death right here too, man. That ring of death, man.
Xavier from X-Men sitting in that chair, look like Dr. Xavier.
Here's the truth. Here's the truth, though. Seriously, and I want you to weigh in on this, Mark, before we let you go.
Yeah.
A lot of brothers out there don't feel good about themselves, man.
Yeah, that's a fact.
A lot of brothers don't feel good about themselves, man. And, a lot of women, it's always talked about with women and self-esteem, but let's be real, man. There's a lot of brothers out there, man. They don't feel good about themselves, man. I mean, talk to us about that, Mark. What's the word for brothers out there, man, who are struggling? Because what Jay and I find is a lot of brothers try to tack on money, power, position to feel good about themselves. But at their root level, and they don't feel good about themselves, man. What do you say to a brother that's watching right now, man? And he's always overcompensating, with things, trying to make himself feel like he that guy.
Well, it's funny that you bring that up, because that piece that you're speaking on, it's actually our superpower. It's actually the man's superpower. We're never happy with where we're at. We're never content with how much money we make. We're never content with how well we're taking care of our families, right? So it allows us to get up and do the work, and we do the work. The flip side of that superpower is that we're the hardest on ourselves, right? Right. That's the flip side of it. So when you can recognize that it allows me to excel in a certain area of life, the other superpower, and older men do this better than younger men, I believe.
Okay, I'm listening.
Because you, of all people, like, you left your job, the place where everybody says you're number one, you're the best, pastor. You could be my husband, you could be my father, you could be but you are able to walk away from that because you get to a place in life where you're okay, you're happy you're able to recognize where God has brought you. You're content with the wife that God has given you, the children that you have around you, your family group. You would be okay if you never gain another friend in your life today.
Wow.
Right?
Friends, who cares about friends at this age? I don't give about no friends. I got 2 kids and a bad little wife. I don't care if you like me or not.
You need friends,
right.
And you have me. You have me in your life. That's why you don't need anything else.
I got the winning.
He got you.
All the friends I need right there.
There you go.
He got you and Jesus. That's it. That's all you need.
Hey, well, listen, Mark, thank you so much for coming through, man. We're going to save Mark for the stage. Yeah. I want to just encourage you, brothers. Listen, you need to get to Atlanta. A lot of times we as men, man, we hear these things. It goes in one ear, out the other. We don't feel like we need it. But Mark is going to be a part of an amazing lineup of speakers. And understand this. When I'm telling you this, the table is spread for God to do something. Let me tell you what the Lord told me the other night. He said, man, you are setting the table for some miracles. That's all I heard God say, that this is going to set the stage for some miracles to happen in some brothers' lives, some breakthroughs to take place. And sometimes about being in the room. Dude's been asking me, hey, man, y'all streaming? No, we're not streaming. Proximity is power. We're not streaming, bro. You're not going to be able to, be sitting in your drawers, watching
way out,
and scrolling on social media, and you got First Take on, and you watch. Nah, we're not doing that. You got to get in the room. Mark is going to be there pouring his heart out from his own experience. He's ready. He's locked and ready to go. And Mark, thank you so much for coming on this podcast, man. Give this brother a round of applause, man, as we let him go, man. Yeah, man. Much love to you, Mark. Thank you, man. See you next week, brother.
Yeah.
Peace.
Ooh. That was good, man. That was good.
Good God, man. Jeez.
That was good. You know what? It's so much heat in this lineup, man. It's so crazy. It's heat.
Lord.
Me and a wife just went on this little cruise called Utopia, and it was known for just having so much stuff packed into like 3 days that you can't do it all. It's just like so much packed in 3 days. This conference reminds me of that. It's just so much packed in 3 days, so much information, so much game, so much life-changing material that you brothers need to hear. If you don't have your plane ticket, if you don't have your ticket, your registration, go ahead and get it now. 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 Get it now.
Yo, man, your boy Kanye, and I'm saying that your boy. This is your boy. This is your. It's your boy. And you know what? Here's why we need to talk about this, because this is right on the heels of what Mark Tamaleaa was talking about in terms of mental health. To me, it is without question. It's it's no argument that this brother is having a serious mental health breakdown. And he needs some serious help. And I told you said this back, and I'm gonna give this to you. I'm about to throw you an alley though. You said something to me. I don't know if you remember. This was some months ago.
Yeah.
You were like, yo, I'm afraid that this brother is either going to be dead or end up in jail.
Yeah.
And I think he said the same thing that happened to Diddy. That's what you said. You said the same thing that happened to Diddy. He was like, I think Kanye is next. And man, I heard what you were saying. I was just like, nah. Then I saw he getting ready to put another gospel album out. And then I'm like, okay, maybe he getting it together. But bruh, what he said about Beyonce and Jay-Z's kid and their developmental issues, and just, man, he out there. He messing with Solange now. Solange, I saw she put a picture out there with her with a gun in her hand. Lord have mercy. Talk to me about this dude. He ain't right, man. And I know that's your boy. That's your boy. Come on, talk about it.
Man, you know what? So everyone knows that I love music. I do music. I DJ, I produce, I do all that stuff. And throughout my whole musical life, not the whole life, but around that 90s, very late 90s, early 2000s or whatever, Kanye West has been my muse. He's my favorite artist of all time, right? And it is definitely sad to see that brother full-blown crashing out right now. And I said it a couple months ago. I stand by it. That brother is on a road of destruction, of death or jail. death or jail. Some of the things that he said you cannot come back from. You never talk about a man's family, a
Come
man's
on, man.
a man's
LeBron taught us that.
a man's children, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, the comments that he's making is just completely showing mental illness and just a cry for attention. I don't know.
Is it? Now, I'm going to ask you.
I don't know what it is. The brother got money. I don't like. I just don't know what.
Do you think it's mental illness, or do you think that he's just trying to get attention? Like he's the ultimate narcissist. Well, that's mental illness too. Then,
yeah.
But
honestly,
how can it not be?
Honestly, I don't think the brother is done healing, man. I don't
Mm.
think the brother is done healing. You know,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
lost his mother. Very big loss out of the blue, just like I said earlier.
Lost his marriage.
Lost his marriage. And
Mhm.
I think Kanye is just suffering from having a whole bunch of brothers around him that is not willing to pull his coattails or say, hey, bruh, you know, what are you doing? You're crashing out, because he's full blown 100% crashing out, and somebody gonna pull up on him. Somebody's gonna pull up on him. Hopefully not. We don't want that to happen. Just like the stuff with his current wife. I've seen him having her out there, you know, half dressed, almost naked, and you know, it's just a bad look, and he's just not wise right now. It's just hard to see somebody so musically gifted who created a whole sound. You know, the soul sample sound came from Kanye. Kanye. So it's so hard to see somebody so gifted in music, culture, the arts, you know, that he has a awesome production film out as well. It's just hard to see him just crash out like this, man. It's just rough to watch, man. It's rough to watch, bro.
Yo, you know, again, and I'm just gonna say this, man. We always, and this is why this podcast is important. The message of the winning circle, which is to win in what matters, is important, because we idolize these people who have gifts and money. Like, we give them a pass if they have gifts and money. And then the rest of these brothers out here who's hardworking, standing by their families, they don't got the bag. You know what I'm saying? But they're good guys, man. They don't get the shine. They don't. And these are the people that we elevate in society. This is who people want to be, these guys, man. People want to be, we will aspire to be these guys. And I think what we have been saying ever since we started this podcast, but even further than that, Jason, ever since, you know, we really started the winning circle, was, bro, listen, you can be killing it out there, bro. But if you don't have your shift together, man, in the most important areas of life, you can lose your mind. Now, people don't realize this, but in the book of Ecclesiastes, now, you know, Proverbs was written by Solomon. Solomon like Kanye, bro. People don't realize this.
Right.
In the book of Proverbs, Solomon is a young man, and he's bursting forth with all this wisdom. Remember, he asked God, God was like, what do you want? And he's like, man, give me wisdom. And the God was like, well, listen, not only am I going to give you wisdom, because you said you wanted wisdom, I'm going to give you everything else you asked for.
Right.
Man, he got all them blessings, and he lost his mind. That dude had 1,000 wives. And then Ecclesiastes, he's like a completely different person, and he's just like a cautionary tale, if you will, about how God's blessings can become a curse if we're not surrounded by community and the right people. And I'm telling you, it's a lot of brothers is watching this right now, and they're like, hey, man, we rock with you, MyRon. We rock with you, Jay. Man, y'all good dudes, but I ain't coming to the conference because I'm busy. I'm like, man, I don't understand. Oh, I'm not going to join the winning circle. I'm not, I mean, because I don't need that.
Hold on. Okay. Let me give a testimony real quick. So I won't be on the conference. I won't be there Saturday because I have a huge engagement for the city of Cleveland that I have to do. Right. I could have easily said, man, I'm busy Saturday, man. I can't make it, man. But I will be there all the way up until the last minute. I may be playing Russian roulette, especially with this airline, because airlines is late, and you know, but it is what it is. I'm going to be in the building until the last second I can't be.
Yeah, for sure.
Until the very last second I can't be, I'm going to be in the building. There is no excuse when you need healing. There's no excuse when you need community. There's no excuse when you need this game to go to the next level of your life, right? So, hey, my brothers that missed it this year, save up your coins. Say, hey, we all know what Jordan and Nike doing this year. Every weekend there's been some heat dropping.
Oh yeah.
Some of you brothers didn't caught one of them Union ones. Those 9s came out last Saturday. I know some of y'all brothers didn't caught at least 2 pairs this year.
Without hesitation.
Without hesitation. Even I had to stop myself when them cool gray 9s came out. I held them in my hand. My wife said,
and then they'll look at the conference, talk about, man, it's too much money. I'll be like, man,
save up,
bro.
You know
Get
what?
out of here, man.
You put your money where your heart is, and you put your money where your importance and the things that you treasure lie. Put that investment in your healing. Put that investment in getting good brothers around you that's going to take you to the next level. Be at the conference next year. If you're not going to be there this year, you got the money. Don't say you don't got the money. You got a whole year to save up.
Listen, bro, I'm going to show this commercial real quick, and then we're going to bring on Seth Yelorda, man. He reached out to me, and he said, man, have you been peeping this drama on the Breakfast Club? He said, man, y'all need to bring me on this podcast to help these folks out, man. He said, we out here looking crazy, man. Just the way we handling conflict and stuff. But anyway, he gave some good science, man, that we going to drop in a minute. But hey, look, I don't know who watching right now, but you need to get on
announce to you today that you need to get to Atlanta, Georgia on March 27th through 30th for the Men's Winning Circle Conference. This is our 5th year doing this conference, but this year in specific and particularly, we are focusing on building wealth. W-E-A-L-T-H, wealth. We're going to get your business right. We're going to get your money right, but you can't get none of those things right if you don't get your personal life right. There's too much research out there that shows a direct connection between who you are as a man and how far you can go financially and in business. Let's blow the roof off this thing, especially with all the craziness going on in this world and attacks against us as men. We need to start getting our finances right. We're going to accelerate your business. We're going to accelerate your personal finance. We're going to teach you the principles of what wealth building is all about. And listen, man, we got the lineup of lineups coming to you and coming to this conference. Are you ready for this? Dr. Eric Thomas, my man, is going to be there. NBA legend Katina Mobley is going to be there. Jamal Bryant, the one and only pastor, is going to be there.
That's crazy.
David Chance, serial entrepreneur and multimillionaire, he will be there. Jeremy Anderson, come on, motivational speaker, come on, leader, come on, he gonna be there. Willie Moore Jr. will be there, and Anthony O'Neill. I'm talking about Mr. Finance himself is gonna be there, and the sleeper is gonna be there. You ready for this? Paxton Baker, a brother, minority owner for the Washington Nationals Major League Baseball team. All of these guys are coming together to help you to win financially. But you can't win financially if you ain't well, come on, and you ain't with God. Come on, somebody. So I need you to get to Atlanta right now.
That preaches right there.
Go to the website and register. We only have 500 slots, and you ain't gonna see all of these kind of speakers in one place at one time, except at the Winning Circle Conference. Register right away, and make sure you register VIP so you can get all the stuff that's got to do with money. Peace. See you there.
Hey man, and listen, let's not act. Hold on, let me get this off the screen, bro. I don't know how.
VIP.
Yeah, listen, bro. We listen. We mentioned all them names, and we got Seth Yelorda gonna be one of the speakers in the building.
I'll be in the building, brother. I'll be in the building.
And we got Seth Yelorda. I mean, listen, man, we mentioned all those guys. Those are the, you know what I'm saying? Those are the, you know what I'm saying? They're the setup crew. But because Seth Yelorda is going to be in the building.
Alley-oops being thrown.
Yo, man, listen, I receive it, bro. Listen,
brother,
I'm glad to be in the building.
Yes, sir.
What's up, fellas?
What up?
We here, brother. We here. Yo, Seth, man, you reached out to us. Can you please tell us what in the world is going on? I know Jay been following this because Jay.
Have y'all been following it? Have you been following the drama?
I am now.
It's been so many people crashing out lately. It's kind of hard.
Everybody's crashing out.
Everybody's crashing out. What's going on?
Man, people are stressed, bro.
Everybody's crashing. Mason Cam is crashing out. Everybody's crashing out. It's getting crazy.
Yo, man, people are stressed. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you want to give a quick recap, man. I follow the Breakfast Club. I love their content. You know, they talk
give us the recap. Give us the read. There's some people obviously who don't know what's going on.
They've been through some highs and lows, but they're on a high right now. And they have had to kind of renegotiate and restructure who their third person is going to be. And so they landed on Jess, who I thought is, hilarious and funny and plays good in the role. And so Jess went on maternity leave. And so she brought a fill-in, which is Loren, to cover her while she's gone on maternity leave. Loren did so phenomenal, so well in the role that Loren just kind of like made herself comfortable. And was like, yo, when Jess comes back, I ain't leaving.
No. I'm following the story. Did Loren say that, or did they?
No, that's just all in the comments. That's all in the comments.
That's the social media. The social media commenters, man, created a wedge with these folks, man.
Yeah. And so Loren, and I mean, when I would listen to Loren, I'm like, yo, she's good at what she does. Like, she definitely adds something to the show.
Yeah,
right? She's worth.
I know she got producer status now. She's like producer. Yeah.
Yeah. And so there was just. And if you watch the show, let's say a week ago, months ago, you'll notice like in the comments, people are like kind of taking shots at Jess, taking shots at Loren. And so you can kind of see it.
Lord have mercy.
But Jess went on, was she IG Live?
IG Live.
She went on IG Live and just,
went
postal. The tea, just went loose, crashed out. And basically just told everyone how she's feeling, why she's feeling the way she's feeling, that her role is not clear, and why is Loren still on the show, and during her segment. And so just kind of went off. And so obviously that makes it very awkward when you come into work the next day.
Yeah.
And you got to look these people in the face. And so when I watched that and then I listened to how they addressed it that next day, to me, it was just like, this is something that takes place in the workplace all the time.
Yeah, man.
Like, if you are in any job, right, from healthcare, corporate America, whatever job you're in, there is always some type of conflict. The challenge, though, is theirs is public, and Jess made it public, and so they had to address it public, right? Versus, if you and your manager have issues, or you and a coworker have issues, you can kind of talk about it behind the scenes, right?
She went on live, and she got a platform. Phenomenal. She got a stupid large platform, so everybody.
Platform. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, I've seen this literally, people bring me in to address this exact same thing that takes place. Had a conversation with a leader 2 weeks ago who said, Seth, what do I do? I got 2 coworkers who are going at each other. How do I handle this? What do I do about this? And so this is something that every single leader has gone through, where you've tried to negotiate and understand and get role clarity. And I think Jess has a lot of valid points without getting too deep into her situation, her story. I think she has a lot of points in that she just is asking for clarity. She's like, what's my role? Now that I'm back, what's my role? What's her role? I got a contract. I see what the contract says, but what's happening here? And it sounds like she just has not had the answers to her questions, which then made her crash out.
Bro, I was watching I think I was watching the video you sent of his like the little snippet. And man, I'm watching Charlemagne the God. And this dude is he's being flippant about it. And it's a serious matter, but he's cracking a lot of jokes.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, do people know how to handle conflict? And they're doing it on air, which, let's be honest, they're profiting off of the drama, the conflict.
Yep.
So, I mean, I just want to get your opinion as someone who handles these situations, man. Like, what's the takeaway? Like, how do we not do this type of stuff? Like, how do we handle this better? How could this have been handled better? It does appear to me like DJ Envy is the mature one in the group who's wanting to, handle this well. I saw him shut down Charlemagne multiple times on him just kind of, being trite and flipping about people's feelings. And Jess is legit hurt. But I see that what she did was wrong. But then at the same time, looking at Loren, I'm just like, well, I mean, what's she supposed to do? Like, she came to you. I mean, you sound like you jealous. It seems, I don't know. Right. What is your take? What is the essence? What's the root issue here?
What I saw Charlemagne do was try to diffuse conflict. So a lot of times when tensions get high in a conversation, someone, if they're not comfortable with the tension, they will try to crack a joke, make light of the situation in an attempt to diffuse the tension, right? It's not because I want her to cry or I don't care that she's crying, but that's the only way I know how to process this tension is to try to somehow, let's bring some levity to this situation so that it doesn't get even worse.
You're saying we should not do that.
What I'm saying is that is not the best way to approach it. Correct. Right. That is not the best way. Now, it works. I think if it's a group dynamic and you have the DJ Envy who can like kind of hold all things in check, then if someone does that, then we can kind of like, okay, we appreciate the laughs. We appreciate you kind of keeping us kind of like
interchange.
Kind of energy, kind of keeping our energy while at the same time not trying to minimize how she's feeling. Right.
All right. What else? Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead.
It all goes back to things I keep on saying over and over and over and over again on this podcast with social media. You have to regulate your feelings and emotions.
Oh, yeah.
Brother.
It just can't be, I mean, social media and live has given everybody a camera and a platform to get online and say whatever you want to at any time. Before you press that live button, before you press that post button, you take a step back and say, should I say this? How will this affect my job? How will this affect my friendships, my relationships? Should I post this? Should I go live? What is it going to do to benefit me? What will it do to hinder me? You got to regulate those emotions when you're on social media. Period.
I think, Jay, though, I think the bigger question, and this may even be like a generational thing that we have to wrestle with, is when you are in an environment where you do not feel heard, how do you show up? How do you manage that space? And I think maybe by and large, we have been cultured to say, you know what? I need to raise my voice. If I'm not being heard, I need to raise my voice. I need to holler. I need to scream. I need to yell. I need to throw some things. I need to get people's attention. And so her going on IG Live and kind of spilling all of her issues out for the world to see is her trying to raise her voice to say, I don't feel heard over here. I've brought it up multiple times. No one's validating me. No one's answering my questions. I'm still operating in a whole lot of ambiguity. So let me just get louder. Thinking that if I can get louder, it'll force you all to deal with my questions.
Seems cowardly to me, though, Seth. I mean,
but that's a very good take. I never really thought.
No, that's a very good take. But I almost feel like I don't want to be so dogmatic on this, but I think we've been trained in a sense to be cowardly about conflict because so much of what we do, look at Stephen A. Smith and LeBron. So Stephen A., the energy is really, really strong on the camera and online. Behind, online, and you have everybody now who has an opinion and they can say whatever they want to people, but they will not, and we've seen this before, they will not carry the same energy when you catch them on the street.
That's a fact.
Or they won't put that same energy into having a one-on-one conversation. Do you think that we have because you talked about generational stuff, do you think we have a generational issue with courage and conflict and just how we handle stuff because of the proliferation of social media and people's voice? It feels like we do, man. I
don't think we know how to have conversations. We don't know how to express ourselves in a way that will allow us to be heard when we feel like we're not being heard. And so we were raised around parents who, to be heard, you raise your voice. You're not listening to me. You're not hearing me. Let me raise my voice, right? Let me get louder. Let me throw some things. Let me get, physically animated in order to get your attention. And so I think that going online social media is just another way that we do that. And I think the challenge, though, is, people might do that in their own personal relationships, and you see that a lot, right? But when it comes to your job, like that's where it's like, yo,
that's where you gotta have
this is your job. Like this might just be a fireable offense. Like I don't know what the contract says, but like for you to walk up in corporate and start like and go off on your boss's boss and like that. To Jay's point, there's a level of like self-awareness that's lacking, maybe a level of like emotional intelligence, or maybe you're aware, you just don't care.
You remember Antonio Brown when that dude just blew up. I mean, this guy was on the sideline. Never have I seen this before. Dude quit in the middle of a game, takes off his jersey, giving people the bird, marches off,
dude,
and effectively destroys his career. Unregulated.
These younger people is just soft, man. All these almond milk, oat milk babies ain't had no whole milk in their life. They just soft, man.
Now seriously, there's this girl. I don't know if you sent it to me, Seth, but I would love to get her on the podcast. But there's this girl I'm starting to follow on Instagram. I mean, on TikTok now. Her name is, she's a therapist. And man, one of the things that she's been saying essentially is that our definition of mental health is something to protect. And she says mental health is not something you protect. She says mental health is something that you practice. And she's saying we're building a generation of people who feel like mental health is about protecting, having boundaries and stuff like that. And so what she's saying is, in effect, what's happening is people are saying that my mental health basically is subject to what people do to me. And she says the best thing for our mental health is adversity. She was just like, she's like, people essentially are not mentally resilient and mentally tough anymore. She was like, because we're creating all of these soft, if you will, I hate to use that term, but and effectively she said, like, everybody is soft and overly sensitive now. And she says, how are you going to do that in the world that we're living in? She said, we're teaching people essentially that, if you're not comfortable,
right,
then your mental health. He's like, but your mental health, the strength of your mental health is how you handle adversity and how you respond when things don't go well. So, again, like the emotional regulation piece is just like everybody is going postal, it seems, bro.
Yeah. I think PJ Envy said it well, man. He was like, basically you have to mind who you listen to.
Ooh,
right. Like you just can't listen to everybody. And if for her specifically, if you're listening to the comments, it's going to send you down a very emotionally charged pathway that you're going to do some things that you may regret. Right. And so I think a lot of that is like, man, who's in your ear, right? Like, who are you talking to? Who are you listening to? Yeah, man, it's a crazy situation that obviously happened in front of everyone. If you're in tune and you follow it. And I just felt like, man, it's a talking point that I think we could diagnose for our own well-being, because whether it's conflict in your marriage, conflict with your kids, conflict with coworkers, like how you show up when you don't feel heard, right? How do you manage yourself? How do you regulate? How do you make sure that your voice is still, your perspective is still being valued, even though it may be less than ideal situation, right? And crashing out ain't the way.
Seth Yelorda is one of. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Let me just say, I do think we can look at Jess and we can say, "Oh, you didn't handle that correctly." But from my position, it's the leadership's fault.
Definitely.
I would not want to make Jess feel like, oh, she has an issue. She didn't emotionally regulate. She should have done this. Okay, yeah, fine. Okay, great. Yeah. But the fact that she felt that way is someone else's fault.
Yeah. So if her leadership or her management would have drew clear, defined lines of her coming back, this is what's going to happen. This is going to be your segment. This is going to be her segment. This is, what's going to happen moving forward. Now that you're back, we got more traction because she was on here doing so well. We want to keep her. We want and honesty, right? We want to keep her because she's doing well. We don't want to send her back in. So we want to keep her, but this is how we're going to do it. If they would have set those clear descriptions on what it was moving forward, then we wouldn't have this. And that's just
it may have been everything. It may have been uncomfortable. It may have been an uncomfortable conversation with her to say, hey, you know what? We're actually want to include her on your segment. Right. But I think a lot of times what we experienced was the boiling point. It was a tipping point of unaddressed issues. And it's always the leader's responsibility to address those issues. And you can't say, well, I didn't know. Are you checking in? Are you having one-on-ones? Are you and now DJ Envy says, yo, I've tried to talk to her. We have talked and she has. And so there's a black box there that we don't really know what happened, when, where, and how. or what conversations, and some people are saying this conversation happened when it didn't happen and vice versa. But I think the bigger point is, if you're experiencing conflict in the workplace, it goes back to the leader.
The leader not even on them screens.
The leader. Yeah.
Let's just be honest. Near one of them people is producers. So and the producers was like, hey man, y'all need to take this, and handle this live.
Yeah. But this is something that I always do in my role, in my personal job. And I just want to just say this to everybody that's listening, that's in management, that's in leadership. What Seth said is 100% on. Every time I step on the production floor or I talk to somebody that's reporting to me, I check in daily. How are you doing? How are you feeling? What can we change? How's things going? You got to check in. If you don't check in with the people that you're leading, you're going to get a snowball effect and things are going to spill over and you're going to get some type of drama that you're going to get. And it's just not going to be a good situation. You got to check in, man. You got to check in with your people, man.
This is good advice, Seth, that you've given. And Jason, not only just for the workplace, for relationships, for marriage. Anyway, Seth is give this man a round of applause. Seth is one of our speakers at the and presenters. He will be doing breakouts. I mean, listen, when we were loaded, man. Thanks for coming through, Seth. Seth is one of our guys, and man, glad that he came through.
Out there so fast, man.
Man, listen, we're on a time crunch, man. I'm the producer here. Man, we should have had Seth. We should have had Seth come on here.
Hi, man.
This conflict that you and I have, man.
Man, shoot.
Man, nah, man. I'm about to do a Shay what he did to Ocho to you, man. I'm kind of getting sick. Anyway, look, man. What I want to do this. We got 2 more segments before we leave. There's a legends recognition that I want to pause and do. Shout out, man, to Jackie Robinson and his family. As you know, the president of the United States and his administration have been on this purge, man, to remove all vestiges of DEI from anything in the federal government. And as a result of that, they removed some historical information about Jackie Robinson, who was one of the greatest baseball players that ever lived, and also broke the racial barrier and the color line in Major League Baseball, becoming the first Black baseball player. Man, they got rid of this man's history off one of their websites. And most recently, because of the firestorm of people and their criticism of it, it was reinstated. But I just want to take this moment with the Legends recognition to spotlight somebody who made the difference. Number 42, Jackie Robinson. Much respect to his family. Much respect to what he did.
Definitely a legend. Broke barriers, not only in baseball, but in sports and racial. He's just a legend, man. Shout out to Jackie Robinson. The late great.
Man, I think we ought to end this podcast talking about what man laws you have. This has not been going well lately. I just want you to know that, brother. There's a lot of opinions, man. Most of the stuff that you say now is debatable. When you first started doing this, you used to speak things, man, I think that 95% of people would agree with. But these man laws have gotten very petty lately, man. I don't know. But what do you got? Do you have anything today, brother?
So real quick, just to piggyback off of what was said earlier in the earlier session, we gotta love ourselves, man. We gotta love ourselves. Love
playing it safe. He playing it safe today.
How we look. So, brothers, I don't want to see you out there having any man units. Those man weaves. We gonna come against that man weave spirit right now in the mighty name of Jesus. If you are thinking about getting a man unit, I come against that right now. Right now.
Oh man, this guy.
Shave that head off. Come out of that thing, brother. Shave that. Myron, take the hat off. You look good. I was cracking about you earlier, but you look good. I would be sent back a million years if you pulled up with me with some dreads on your head. With some braids. Y'all brothers out there, y'all stop the man units. Stop that. Love yourself. Love your bald head.
Love that bald head.
Love your receding hairline. I come against that right now. In the mighty name of Jesus. I come against that. If you are holding a man unit, put that down right now. And love yourself, brother. Love your bald head. Love that receding hairline. Hey, she gonna love you anyway.
You know what I noticed you didn't say? And I noticed you didn't say to this. They see, this is what I'm talking about. You see, this is what I'm talking. You see, now he said love, love that bald head. You know what I'm saying? He love all that. But he ain't saying nothing but all these brothers out here dyeing their beards. I mean, now your hair ain't that black. You know what I'm saying? Eyebrows, goatee, beard, hair. Why you ain't bring that up, Jay? Why you ain't bring that up? Why you ain't bring all that Beijing and all that enhancements?
Yes,
I natural hairline that you got.
Look, that's that. But listen. That's taking it to another level. Listen, if MyRon pulled up on me with some braids, okay, with some braids, I come against that right now.
Come against that spray. That's right. Come against that spray. Come against that spray. Come on. Come against that spray and them enhancements.
I can't win with this
hairlines. Come against that.
Listen, ain't nothing wrong with enhancing a little bit. We ain't saying change your whole look, okay? It's nothing wrong with that's why it's called enhancements. You want to enhance.
Yeah. Don't change the whole look.
Don't change the whole look, brother. Okay? Just because these YNs is out here with dreads all the way down there. Listen, don't fall into that. Love who you are. Stand on business as a man. On business. And put the man unit down.
He said, shave it off.
And if you're a barber right now, I'm holding some of these barbers accountable too. I'm coming to y'all. I'm coming to these barbers too. Barbers.
Yeah, who's your barber? What's his name?
If you know this man should not have no man unit in your
Who's your barber? Who's your barber?
Stop it right now. Stop it.
Put his info in the chat. I want to reach out to him about these dang on enhancements, man.
They're called enhancements. I mean, I'm enhanced.
But Jay, this is what I don't understand. Because to me, it's just as bad as the man buns and the man weaves. You see a dude, he's fully gray, and then next week, everything is blacked out. Like he won't do brown. It's completely black.
It's enhancement, brothers. Listen, I'm not gonna go there yet, okay? Because I'm a prime offender, right? Every time I come out,
these man laws are always very convenient, brother.
But listen. The man units gotta stop. Okay, they gotta stop, man. They gotta stop. That's all it is to it. Y'all brothers out there,
man,
and brothers is going OD with it, right? They going dreads and braids and and you down there in Atlanta too, Myron. So you don't know what you know.
I ain't gonna lie. Hey, look, I ain't gonna lie. I be seeing some stuff, bro.
Yeah.
I be seeing some stuff. I'm gonna leave that alone. Hey, but look, hey. Jay, man, I had to admit, I agree with you. If I had to choose between a man who want to put a little dye in his hair, I said a little though. I said a little. I mean, and then that bun, that weave, the wigs, the toupees.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Come on, love yourself enough.
Love yourself, and it all comes down to. You got to join the winning circle because the brothers in the winning circle, they gonna tell you not to.
They gonna tell you what's up. That's facts. We're not gonna let you be out there.
Yeah,
you slipping, bro. And people laughing at you, bro, and you think you looking like that. Yeah. You think you looking like that, man. We got to stop that. Anyway, hey, look, y'all. Great show today. We got to end with a promo for the conference.
Don't you buy that man unit, JD Miller.
He said y'all cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Well, we telling the truth, Uncle Bill. We know we telling the truth. Look, y'all need to get to this conference.
It's one of the best investments I ever made.
If you weren't here, then you need to get here next year.
Yo, my man, Dr. MyRon Edmonds here. And ain't it crazy how they told us if we got more money, if we got more if we got more power, that our lives gonna be all worked out. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of y'all out there, like me, you are hurting for real, because all those things have left you empty for real. And because there's so many of us out here who are all by ourselves, trying to handle all the pressure of what it means to be a man, I decided to put together the Men's Winning Circle Conference. I call in the heavy hitters. Come on, we ain't playing in here. Reverend Dr. Jamal Harrison Bryant is going to be with us.
I can't imagine where God would have taken me if I had sexual discipline.
Oh, and then there's my man, Jeremy Anderson.
So I went through that 9 months and was able to keep my eyes pure, was able to keep my search engine pure, was able to keep my intentions pure because I stayed at the cross, and it was the hardest season of my life, bro.
Anthony O'Neill.
Our vision for our life and the vision for our money should be congruent. It should be working hand in hand. I can't say I want to get out of debt, but then my budget doesn't say that. I can't say that I'm budgeting to get out of debt, but I'm saying over here my vision is I want to go out on dates, more importantly.
Oh yeah, and then there's me, Dr. MyRon Edmonds.
The enemy wants you to be as self-destructive as possible. Watch this. He wants you to do things that go so against your assignment that he literally grinds you down.
I'm your host. I'm going to be speaking and pouring into your life. And not just me, I forgot to mention there's about 7 other brothers that are coming to pour into you to help you to start winning in what matters. Yo, my man, you need this. You don't just need this, your family needs this. Not only does your family need this, your community needs this. We waiting on you, bro. It's your time. It's your season. It's time right now. And check this out. I need you to make a choice to move now. Spaces are limited. Register today and be counted in the number of men that are going to get healed and will get healed right now and win in what matters. Let's go.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Get Your Shift Together Men's Podcast. For more information, please visit our website, menswinningscircle.com. That is, menswinningscircle.com. Let's win in the things that matter.